Hey, Shalom, Akim Shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praises unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shah,
Yahusha Bahasham.
Bahasham, Rachakodash. And double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us this truth. A sincere Shalom to the hopeful like that's out there listening, learning, and or teaching in truth and sincerity. Shalom. I'm the brother Kawashab.
Tazwan.
And we're going to be responding to a comment real quick that we saw in one of the videos here. I'm gonna see if I can share it real quick. Let me see. Okay, I don't know if y'all could see that because my screen just kind of went crazy real quick. Could you see that, brother? So this is the video we had made, and we got a comment here by at Violet Dreams 6603. It says, after the white man serves his 1,000 years, aren't they going to be totally destroyed? Okay. And, I'm not 100% sure why this question is being asked. I believe we do address this in the video. But for edification's sake, we'll go ahead and answer the question here. Let me see here. Gone. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get into the scriptures. And, and before I even get started, I'm gonna just give you the answer. You know, Ultimately, yeah, that's what's gonna happen. We mentioned that in the scriptures or in the video, but we're also gonna go into the scriptures and prove it here to bring out edification. All right. So to get started, could you grab Revelation, the 13th chapter, Baba Kusha?
So start at one.
Uh, I start at verse 9, Baba Kusha.
Gone. All right, so it says here, Revelations 13, verse 9. It says, if any man have an ear, let him hear.
Come on, you can keep going.
Gone. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints.
Gone. So plain and simple, like it says there, he that leads into captivity will go into captivity. And we know that those who led us into captivity, starting off with Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, okay, but also the other heathen as well. Now today we're going to be focusing more on Esau, okay, but know that these other heathens are also going to serve the 1,000 year slavery, okay, which is going to be a very brutal slavery. Okay, it's going to serve as a punishment for what they did to us. Okay, now it says, he that killeth with the sword will be killed by the sword. It's just thinking about, how they killed us during the transatlantic slave trade, during the Spanish conquest. You could watch that movie Django and see how they treated slaves. Okay, when they were done with you, they feed you to their dogs, or have their way with you in many different ways. But not to get too deep into it, that's what's gonna happen to Esau. Okay. Now we're gonna go from there to Second Esdras chapter 6 and verse 9. Salakia.
Second Ezra 6 and 9. All right, it says right here, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of that followeth. Salakia, let me read that again. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
Done. So that's what's gonna happen is after Esau's rulership is over, okay, that's the beginning of our rulership. So, like it said in the last precept, we're gonna have Esau in captivity. And when does that happen? When we come into power, okay? Because we have no power right now. We're prey to these heathens. Okay, you walk down the street the wrong way, you can get shot, you can get arrested. Okay, they'll pull you over for anything, especially if you're Jake, you know. And our people are constantly being oppressed in this society as second class citizens, right? Working on these jobs, so on and so forth. Okay, so this has to happen when Esau is taken out of power and that first dominion begins. Okay, so Yahushua returns. This place is destroyed by thermonuclear destruction. Okay, then that kingdom is going to be set up. So now from there, we're going to go to Revelation, back to Revelation. But we're gonna start in the we're just gonna go to the 20th chapter and start at verse 5, Baba Kusha.
We have Revelations chapter 20, verse 5. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection.
Khan. So right there, this is the first resurrection. Okay, so that first resurrection, okay, is going into that first dominion where we were the elect. Lord's will would be the elect. That's where we're gonna be ruling. Um, Basically, the first part of our rulership. Okay, when Yahweh Shai returns, is those first 1,000 years. Okay, um, and then you keep going from there.
Going into verse 6. Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such as the on such the second thanks, Laki. On such on s- on such the second death hath no power, but they shall be priests of the Most High and of Mashiach, and shall reign with him 1,000 years.
God, we're gonna reign with him 1,000 years, and that's gonna be that's gonna be the model for the rest of eternity, man. That first rulership, which you're gonna have the first fruits ruling the 144,000, right? Those who made it on the first go round, okay, are going to be ruling on a very high level there. And then, that's going to be the model for the rest of eternity. Now, of course, all of Jake is going to ultimately have power over the nations, but there's a hierarchy, right? So you got the elect, um, you know, being the main priest kings in that kingdom. Okay. So that's basically the point is 1,000 years, right? So in that 1,000 years, we're going to have the heathen in slavery, hardcore bondage, all of them. Esau, you know, Ishmael, Moab, Ammon, uh, you know, Hamites, so on and so forth. Every heathen, they're all going into hardcore bondage. But the difference is Esau, after his 1,000 years of punishment is up, we're not going to have any use for him because he is a cancer on the earth. He is a virus, right? The other nations, they're going to have a purpose. But Esau, he already served his purpose. His purpose was to be the wicked, and he did a great job of it. So now, in the righteous kingdom, we're not going to have any need for him, all right? And so, let's grab that precept. The brother had brought out a precept earlier while we were talking. I'm gonna go ahead and read that for him. Um, going into what's gonna happen. This is Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 17. It says, "But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions."
So ultimately, that's talking about salvation for the Israelites. That's not talking about salvation for everybody. That's not talking about salvation for the heathen. That's talking about Zion, which is Israel. And it says that we will own their possessions. So everything they have will be ours.
Gone. Yeah. And the Israelites today, for those of you that don't know, is the so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and so-called Native American Indians. Not those pointy nosed guys with the witch hats on over there in Israel, man. Okay. And then verse 18 it says, "And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame."
Yeah, so the house of Jacob being the southern kingdom, which is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and then Joseph being the northern kingdom, that's salvation for us. That's talking about us. And
Hmm.
then Salaki, read that one more time.
It says, "In the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame,
Go on to the next verse.
and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh hath spoken it."
So ultimately, like we've been speaking of, like after that 1,000 years, there will be no more Esau. Like that's end.
Hmm.
Because they put us in captivity, they tortured our people, they done some disgusting things, like you brought up this, the Spanish conquest,
Hmm.
Trail of Tears.
Oh
They've
yeah.
done some serious things to us, and this is what's got to happen now.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you can't go into a world that's pure if your nature is evil, you know and the Lord don't want to see that. So
Yeah. Yeah, and no, none of us want to see it either, man. We tired of Esau. You see all the stuff he's doing, destroying the world, all these disgusting things. You know, the Epstein class, don't forget about that. It's all Edomites up there, man. That's not Jake doing that.
kind of
Can't blame that
pollution.
on Jake.
Pollution, chemtrails, like man, you're fucking with the weather just to, bro, just to have like a sense of control. But like
Hmm.
at the end of the day, we all know who's in control of those, you know, of all their technology, everything that they even think of. It's like this is all put into play by the Most High. So it's like they gotta go. Like in the
God,
Most High, like
they gotta
he
go.
he's directing them to make themselves disappear. So it's like win-win.
Yep. Exactly. Hey, so that's it, man. They're gonna be done away with. So with that, we're gonna finish by giving our glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh,
Bahashim
Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Hakodash.
Dash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us his truth, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom wa, Abba Babal, Shalom.
Shalom.